Take it to heart. An afternoon nap may seem harmless, maybe even helpful, but new research suggests that a regular nap schedule may be hurting your heart health. According to a new study published in Hypertension, an American Heart Association journal, people who often nap have a greater chance of developing high blood pressure and having a stroke. Dr. Nima, an interventional neurologist with Baptist Health, joins us this morning to explain why those afternoon snooze sessions might not be worth the shut-eye. Good morning to you, Dr. Nima.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, so listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think a lot of us enjoy a good nap, especially in the afternoon after a long day at work or school or whatever it is we're doing. What are the problems here?
Yes, thank you. Yes, exactly. You know, a lot of people like their naps, and that's important. But this is a very interesting study. So this is an observational study which looked at over 300,000 patients, mostly from European descent. And they found that people who have frequent naps during the day, that is associated with increased risk of hypertension and stroke. And in fact, people who had frequent naps had more than 12% or risk of high blood pressure or 20% risk of having a stroke.
Let's look at this from the other side. Some people may say, if you feel the need to nap a lot, you might already have some health issues. Is that possibly a case here in these findings?
Yes. So the important thing here is that this was a association. So it's not a cause and effect, meaning based on this study, you cannot say, well, if you nap frequently, then you have more stroke or high blood pressure. What this does tell us is the importance of a good night's sleep. So what happens is people who do have frequent napping, well, those are the most often people who either have have difficulty sleeping at night or have some sort of a sleep disorder, such as sleep apnea. And the importance of that is if you have a sleep apnea or if you have problem with sleeping at night, that is correlated with cardiovascular risk factors. So indirectly, based on this study, people who don't sleep very well at night, which then requires them to have daytime napping, those are the patients who have some sleep disorder or are not able to sleep. And those are the patients that are in high risk of having high blood pressure and a stroke. Exactly.
So it's a good reason to go see your doctor and see just why you are feeling tired. Let's pull up some of these stats from this study because it's really interesting right here. What else did you learn by going over this? 12% higher risk of developing high blood pressure, 24% higher risk of having a stroke. Again, this is the association, not the cause and effect here.
Exactly. And I think this really brings on the importance of knowing, your risk factor for heart attack or stroke, such as high blood pressure. In fact, 45% of American adults have high blood pressure, and high blood pressure can be treated. So the importance of that is, well, let's look at what are the reasons people have high blood pressure or stroke or heart attack. So a good night's sleep is important. And if you're having difficulty sleeping at night for a certain reason, let's look at the cause and talk to your primary care doctor, talk to your doctor about, well, what are the things that can be done? The other thing that this highlights is the importance of, knowing high blood pressure and which can be treated, and the importance of knowing the signs of stroke, because that's very common.
All right. Long story short, get a good night's sleep so you don't have to nap. That's certainly the takeaway right here. Dr. Nima from Baptist Health, thank you for your time this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.